Roy, fighting in Las Vegas, first time since 2012. Seems like a long time, man. You've been traveling the world.
Is it been 2012? I thought it was 2013.
Maybe 2013. I thought it was 2012, but first time in a while.
It's been a long time. It's definitely been a long time. No, it feels good to be back. Fighting on U.S. soil is always good.
You know, we hear about the headaches, though. You know, people asking for tickets, things of that nature. Do you prefer fighting at home, or do you like the experience of being on the road?
I prefer to fight, fighting at home, and people that ask questions for tickets, it'd be like, yeah, it's called Ticketmaster.
Fair enough. Talk about your prep for this fight, man. It looks like you've been spending a lot of time in Syndicate and Extreme Couture. Is that kind of where you've been preparing?
Yeah, no, pretty much, the whole camp's been like at Extreme Couture. Definitely straight conditioning over at Syndicate. And of course, working with James at, his place, it's kind of the same thing. It's just over Extreme has lately just been like, they've been the melting pot, like everybody just keeps on coming, to Extreme. It's kind of like back in the old heydays. So, you got the World Series fighting champ over there, for the heavyweights, and it's hard for us big guys to find other big guys, and especially good quality big guys. And lately, just us been as a close niche, we've just been slowly growing and growing and growing. So I think we might even get a couple more heavyweights here. So I'm actually stoked that for 2016, because we're just growing. The whole team is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I can't wait.
It seems like you used to kind of enjoy kind of training on your own, the country club and that sort of thing. Is this kind of a new philosophy for you to kind of be back, in a big gym?
No, it's the country club's still around. It's because it's still heavyweights. It's still the niche. It's still the, you could put the label on Extreme Couture. You could say it's American Top Team. It's a bunch of guys that want what's best for the other guy. And I think it's that type of teamwork that you actually need to find. There's not a team. You could be like a team alpha male, over in, Sacramento, but then you got guys, training in, Colorado. It's just, as long as you got a bunch of guys that actually wants what's best for you, then, you're all good.
Talk about this point in your career. We know when Roy Nelson goes in, you're going to put on a show, but a couple of losses as of late. Is that weighing heavy on you at all, feeling the need to get back into the win column?
No, there's always a need to win, but probably the best way, how everybody always says it's the UFC experience, but the only way you can capitalize, bottle up the UFC experience is it's called a Roy Nelson fight experience. And if you watch a Roy Nelson fight, you know exactly what that fight experience actually is, because I've watched some fights and I'm like, I don't know if I want to come back and watch this again. But every time you watch Roy Nelson, you're like, I can't wait till the next one. It doesn't matter. You always want to watch the next one.
So when you get a matchup like Jared Rosholt, he might not be able to say that same thing, that you always want to watch a Jared Rosholt fight. What do you think when you get a matchup like that, knowing that he's probably going to be relying on wrestling, probably going to try to stall you up against the cage?
From that standpoint, I always look at this is going to be the best Jared. He might come out with flying arm bars, flying triangles. You know what? He's been working on his striking. He might come out and try to knock me out, which, it always takes two to make a good tango. But, I'm always there to oblige whatever it is. If we want to go to the ground, we'll go to the ground. Either way, it's going to be fun and exciting if you see me on my back or if you see me on top. You're like, I don't know, what's Roy going to do there? Everybody was talking about, my last fight with Josh, I think I had 4 takedowns, and I think that's 4 more than any of my whole career in the UFC. And they're like, whoa, what's going on there? It's like, no, I got tools. It's just, I don't need that. You only need a hammer and a nail.
What do you think about his wrestling and the style that he does bring to the table?
No, Jared's, definitely one of the top guys. He's coming off a beaten, I think it's 3 or 4 wins, in the UFC. He's just coming off a win off of Stefan Struve, who knocked out Stipe, and Stipe just got a title shot. He's right there. The cuts thing is just, he's just not that well known to the fans just because of his fight style. And I think fight style is definitely, or we'll say the Roy Nelson experience I bring, is definitely why you keep on watching the UFC.
How willing would you be to take it to the ground with him?
I'm ready for a championship, so I have to be willing to take it to the ground. I mean, look at Verdum. If you're not willing to take it to the ground with Verdum, then you might not have a good chance.
Well, you turn 40 later this year. How much longer can the Roy Nelson experience continue on?
You know what? I talked to Dan about it, and as long as you're competitive, who cares? I mean, that's pretty much the thing is, especially with Randy, you know, over at Extreme. You know, I talked to Randy and pick his brain a little bit about, you know, about fighting. It's about what your body can take. It's about how competitive you think you can always win. And then plus have that great team around you. If you have a great team around you, you know, like, I mean, I got Fredson, I got Eric, I got James, I got Tyler, like I got Baboya, there's just so many people. I mean, there's the great sponsors from, you know, South Coast Mitsubishi. Like there's so many guys that are, if you got a good package deal around you, you can do really well.